a locked room deep inside Nazi Germany, a general leaned over a map of Europe and whispered something that could have gotten him executed. He didn't say how they would win. He said when they would lose. While the world watched Hitler's armies march forward, a handful of his own top commanders were already counting down to defeat. Tonight, you'll meet the men who saw the end coming and were powerless to stop it. This is the story of the generals who knew Hitler would lose. In the late 1930s, Hitler looked unstoppable. Poland fell in weeks. France collapsed in months. The world watched in shock as German forces rewrote the rules of modern warfare. But behind closed doors, inside candlelit war rooms and smoke-filled offices, some of Germany's most experienced generals were growing uneasy. Men like Ludwig Beck, Franz Halder, and Erwin Rommel had spent their lives studying war. They understood something Hitler did not. Wars are not won by belief. They are won by logistics, industry, and time. And Germany was running out of all three. One German general reportedly said something chilling in 1941. "We can win every battle and still lose the war." Here's why. Germany's economy wasn't built for a global conflict. Its oil supply depended on fragile trade routes. Its factories couldn't match the industrial output of the United States or the Soviet Union. The generals ran the numbers, and the numbers didn't lie. Every mile east meant longer supply lines. Every tank lost meant weeks to replace it. Every winter meant an army freezing without fuel. Hitler, however, believed in destiny. June 1941, Operation Barbarossa, the invasion of the Soviet Union. To Hitler, it was the final step to victory. To many of his generals, it was the beginning of the end. General Franz Halder, chief of the Army General Staff, privately warned that the campaign would stretch German forces beyond recovery. Field Marshal Fedor von Bock feared the army was advancing faster than its supplies could follow. But Hitler didn't want caution. He wanted speed. He wanted conquest. He wanted history. By winter, reality arrived on the Eastern Front. Engines froze, weapons jammed, men collapsed from frostbite before they ever saw an enemy. The generals sent urgent reports to Berlin. Hitler ignored them. As the war dragged on, something dangerous began to grow inside Germany's high command. Not fear, not doubt, defiance. General Henning von Treschow, stationed on the Eastern Front, became convinced Hitler was leading Germany into moral and military ruin. He didn't just want Hitler removed from power. He wanted him dead. Treschow began building a network. Officers, aides, and insiders who believed Germany could only be saved if Hitler was gone. They weren't traitors in their own eyes. They believed they were patriots. One of their plans nearly worked. In 1943, a bomb was smuggled onto Hitler's plane. It failed to explode. Another attempt followed, and another. Each failure made their situation more desperate, because the more the war turned against Germany, the more dangerous Hitler became. July 20th, 1944. Colonel Klaus von Stauffenberg walked into Hitler's headquarters carrying a briefcase. Inside it, a bomb. He placed it under a table near Hitler and left the room. Minutes later, the blast tore through the building. Smoke filled the air. Officers ran in panic. For a moment, Germany believed Hitler was dead, but he survived. The table leg had absorbed the blast. Within hours, the conspirators were hunted down. Treschow took his own life. Stauffenberg was executed that same night, and Hitler unleashed a wave of brutal revenge. Not all the doubters became conspirators. Some, like Erwin Rommel, believed opposing Hitler openly would destroy Germany from within. Rommel knew the war was lost after D-Day. The Allies had landed in France. American factories were producing tanks faster than Germany could destroy them. The Eastern Front was collapsing. Rommel spoke carefully. Too carefully. Hitler suspected him. Rather than arrest the famous general, Hitler gave him a choice: public trial and execution, or silent suicide with honors preserved for his family. Rommel chose the second. The generals who once commanded millions of men were now prisoners of a collapsing regime. By 1945, Berlin was in ruins. The Red Army closed in from the east. Allied bombers ruled the skies. The generals who had once whispered about defeat now watched it happen in real time. Some were captured. Some disappeared. Some lived the rest of their lives haunted by what they saw coming and couldn't stop. They had known. Years before the final shot was fired, they had known. Here's the question history still wrestles with. If more of them had acted sooner, could the war have ended earlier? Could millions of lives have been saved? Or was Germany already trapped by the man they had helped put in power? History often remembers the leaders who shout the loudest, but sometimes the most important voices are the ones that whisper in rooms no one ever sees. The generals who knew Hitler would lose didn't just predict the end of a war. They became part of its tragedy. If you want more true stories about the secret meetings, hidden warnings, and dark decisions that shaped World War II, this channel is for you. Subscribe now, because in the next episode, we reveal the collapsing of Hitler's inner circle.